Hi, welcome to another episode of Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi. If you're a B2B company, have you tried the power of content marketing to generate sales for your business? If not, this episode is for you. I'm talking to Namrata, who's the CEO of Upward Media, and we are going to explore what content marketing can do for B2B companies. Let's get right into it. Hi, Namrata. Welcome to Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks, Pallavi, for inviting me over.
I'm so excited to be talking to another marketer because we've spoken before, of course, and there are so many common things that we talked about. But the topic that we have chosen today, I feel that is one that we can explore a little bit further. Because B2B content marketing is a little hard for people to understand, especially in a very sales driven approach. People don't understand what content marketing is and how it can actually help. So I'm looking forward to speaking about that a little bit later. But before we get started, Namrata, why don't you introduce yourself and your company?
Yeah, sure. I'm the CEO of Upward Media. We are a content marketing business that helps B2B SaaS and tech companies improve their lead generation and traffic with this approach. And we've been in business for 6+ years, and we've served some of the big companies, some big SaaS companies around the world, including Airmeet, Capillary Technologies, Revigi, Six Connects. Around the world, we now have clients in 6+ countries, and we are loving where we are right now, helping B2B startups and people who are looking for growth. So good to be here.
Awesome. So, you worked with multiple companies in multiple countries across 6 years, right? So, do you feel, first of all, do you feel that they really understand what B2B content marketing is, and do they understand the need for it? How much education is required in that space from your side?
That's a very good question, and I think I've been writing for 10+ years. I started as a freelance writer, and when I was growing up, I'd never dreamed that I'm going to be a content marketer. Heck, I didn't
Yeah.
even know what the word is,
Yeah.
up until 12 years back. So definitely, I wouldn't expect anyone, who is a B2B company basically to understand what content marketing is. And that was where we were when we started Upward Media. So whenever we had a new prospect, we had to start from educating about the approach, about the marketing statistics, what we are going to do, how the process is going to look like, what the results they should expect, how soon they can expect. So there was a lot of skepticism around the whole strategy. And especially the Indian market, where sales is, the primary driver for growth rather than marketing, it was more challenging. And while we were, setting up our routes and, so we were targeting the geography that we are more acclaimed to. So that's why the Indian clients really we had to spend a lot of time to get them acclimatized with the whole approach. But now I don't think, everybody is very well educated. We don't have to, start with explaining that. We can directly jump to what we are here for, what is our USP, how we are going to drive change. So the market really has ramped up pretty well. And I'm proud of the way, the Indian geography has adapted these changes in a very short span of time.
Got it. So tell me, so when we talk about content marketing, I believe there is a distinct difference between content marketing and just creating content, and you can explain further. But I believe that content marketing always has a purpose, right? It's a strategic approach of creating content with the purpose of, like you said, lead generation. So is that how you believe it is, and is that how you go about creating content for your clients?
Absolutely. Very well put, Pallavi. That it is where we start with a purpose. When you are just writing, publishing content, you don't have a goal in mind, a business goal in mind. You don't start with a strategy. So what I always tell my prospects is there are three things that are the foundation of content marketing, which is what is your business goal? What is your ideal customer looking for? What are their challenges? What are their pain points? What is their customer journey like? And thirdly, what is the search algos looking for? So a combination of all three of this will lay down your foundation, will be your approach towards the strategy for content marketing. And that is when you start writing. So the writing part is a very small part of content marketing.
Yeah.
You start with understanding your customer, the market, the business, the competitor, the trends, all of that. You create a strategy. Then you move forward to the actual calendar plan, the distribution, and and uh, and then you write, and then you analyze. It doesn't stop at writing. You analyze what worked, what didn't work, what is the user behavior more inclined towards, what posts got more engagement, what we should do more, what we should cut off on. So that complete approach is content marketing.
Got it. Got it. Well, we've been saying writing, writing, writing. I know that in the last few years, it's not just about writing, right? So, what are the different formats that content marketing has, evolved into?
Looking at the industry for the last 6 to 10 years, I would say we started with writing only blog articles. So when Upward Media started, we were writing blog articles for the entire in all industries, basically B2B and B2C, every type of business as well. Plus some social media marketing, maybe. That was the two formats that were prevalent at that time. But slowly, as the B2B landscape has changed, the buyer journey has become very complex. So they are not limited to those channels of distribution. They do their research. They are very well educated. So where are they getting their education from? From different formats. It can be webinar. Now with COVID, I think webinars became very popular. So webinars are one way. So we do content, video scripting as well. So that is also a very new form of content marketing where we create use cases.
Yeah.
Webinar is one form. You create use cases in video format, right? So that is the newest trend. Then there are also, you create case studies also, which are in the video format. So, and they are like best way of, converting clients, of actually revenue generating content, that I would say are case
Okay.
studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, then comparison pages. Websites have always been there, but now we have landing pages which are very focused, very targeted and personalized for every use case. So these are, I think, are the latest formats, and they are doing pretty well for the B2B landscape, especially.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, that the formats that you choose, it totally depends on the industry that you are in, what your audience is consuming. Like, you wouldn't create webinars if no one in your audience set is actually watching a webinar, or they don't have any inclination towards a webinar. So it's all about understanding the audience, and that's where content marketers actually help to identify who you are creating content for, what format to create it in, and then looking at the platform that you're creating it for and following the best practices for that. So, like the three things that you said. Would you be able to give us an? Go on.
Yeah, good. Especially, the engagement, the customer has to be this at the center of your content. And engagement, is what they look for. So
Yeah.
webinars are a ideal format, I would say, to engage and to get live feedback from them. So
Yeah.
I really find them fascinating.
Yeah. Before I ask my next question, I know that on the personal front, you are extremely witty and very good with words. Does that come into the way you create content for such a very, very professional, organization like B2B SaaS is so technical, and it can get really dry and boring. So does your personality come into how you create content for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so when I started with a humor blog,
Mm,
and I took some time off from work. I am a software engineer by education, and my family was growing, so I wanted to try a few things that I love, and
mm,
so I started writing my journey as a parent. And
mm,
that was a humor blog, I think 12 or 14 years back now. And that got me some recognition and my first client. And I was writing for a B2C company, which was had some product for moms and
mm,
newborns.
mm,
Um, there, I think in that market, I could get a lot of humor. And
mm,
slowly, as I decided to take this as a full-time, create a business out of it, I
mm,
slowly started with more on operations, growing the business,
mm.
taking care of, growth rather than hands-on writing. And
Yeah.
wasn't enjoying it as much, that
Mm,
completely off from what I started from. So
mm,
slowly I decided to do a few, at least one client I would write for, maybe a
mm,
little, maybe I'll just do editing, maybe I'll just do quality checks. So that
mm,
is where I am right now.
mm,
I still do quality checks for the posts the content that we send out,
mm,
and I try to bring my personality into it. So where
mm,
I see most writers lack is the introduction. The
mm,
introduction is the most critical piece. That is the most hook of the entire
mm.
that you've written.
Mm.
And I bring in my personality there, where you write something very simple, but
Yeah.
something that targets their pain point in a fun way. So B2 businesses don't have to be, B2B SaaS doesn't have to be boring,
Mm.
right? When we say SaaS, it can be sassy. So
Mm.
that's where I keep saying that it doesn't have to be boring because selling it to businesses. So make
Yeah.
it fun, make it something worth reading, make it something
Mm.
that they want to continue engaging with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I
So
agree with you.
as much as I would love to, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do put in a few my personality in there.
Yeah, and I think the aspect of your personality that comes in is the simplicity, because B2B can be very technical, and it's almost is that more technical it is, the more credible the organization, because that's traditionally how we've looked at it, right? That the more jargon that you use and the more wordy your statement is, that shows that expertise level. Whereas I feel that a lot of the decision makers, yes, they want to know the technical side of it, but they also don't want to consume highly technical content. That was, what our engineering books were about. I don't want to consume that in a blog. I don't want to consume that in a video or even on a social media post, right? I just want to understand that do you understand what my challenge is? And are you going to solve it for me? So can you say that in a simple sentence? You don't have to write a thesis paper on it, right?
Correct. I think that is also the difference between someone who is just starting with content marketing and someone who is progressed and is
Mm.
now an intermediate or an advanced level writer. So they will make the writing so simple. So if you remember
Mm.
in our engineering days, during interviews, they would ask, "How would you explain this product to a 5-year-old? How would you
Mm.
explain this to your grandmom?" So that
Mm.
is what every content piece is what we say that it should be
Mm.
simple.
Yeah.
Putting jargons and these tech words is not going to make you look like a thought leader. Like
Yeah.
everybody thinks leadership is all about pushing those keywords, those jargons, but it's all about, how easily you can convey your message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Would you be able to give us an example of where, content marketing, a small piece of content marketing has really worked, perhaps a different format or something where it has been able to achieve the objective that will help our viewers to um feel a little bit more excited about content marketing and exploring that to achieve sales?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think very relevant for people who are exploring content marketing as an option for driving growth and lead generation. So where I'd like to start is, marketing, the biggest purpose of marketing is getting the trust of people. How do you build trust? That is the biggest hesitation a buyer has. If I trust this brand, I'm going to buy. I'm going to continue buying. I'm going to be an engaged customer who is also a brand ambassador probably down the line. But how do you gain that trust? You have to show some data to show that, I am, as a brand, I'm trustworthy. And that data, to show that data, case studies work the best way. So those case studies, like I said, high generating content pieces, they come at the bottom or the middle of the funnel for you. So I've seen, one of the clients that we were working with, they are an event tech company. We started writing, high volume top of the funnel content for them. So we were focused on high volume keywords, and we were writing to get the, cast a broad net basically to get brand awareness and get traffic. So we started writing like 20, 30 blog articles a month. So we got the visitors, but they were not being pushed down the funnel. We were not able to engage them and convert them. So our content was working to get the traffic, but the ultimate goal of any business, whether it's B2B or B2C, is converting the customer. So that is where we realized that, we have to start writing bottom of the funnel pieces that shows that if you have this kind of problem, if you are facing this challenge, then we've solved this for a similar industry customer, and this is the result that they got. This is the value that our product is going to bring, and this is how implementation worked from them for them. And you show results in the form of, like we drove 600% traffic for them. So that number builds your credibility. That number shows that it is possible. They've done it for a similar business, and it is relatable for me. I can do this too. That is where case studies really become very helpful. And they don't have to be, cold or clinical, as, where we see, that about this is about the company, this is how, we generated results. It has to be very written in a story format, so that somebody sees, like, they see that there was this problem. Yes, that I also have a problem, is what the other person should see. Then what did they do? Then they went in the market and they analyzed a few similar products, and this is why they zoomed in on this particular problem, on this particular product. Why did they zoom in on this product? What is the USP? What is the value that it is bringing? Is what that case study should bring in, so that they see that, yeah, this is possible. This might drive results for me too. And then you say that the implementation was easy. These were the three challenges. This is how the solution our product brought in for them. And this is how future looks for this product. So you don't stop at the results that we've brought. You also show what the future looks like, how they are going to continue being our client and continue getting good results. So the complete storyline has to be in a way that is relatable to a similar use case. Uh, I highly recommend starting with a case study. They help your sales team also, to showcase that, see, rather than, starting with the top of the funnel, you start with these kind of product pieces where the sales team can also leverage these pieces in showing to a potential customer that, see, we've driven these results. And then from there you build up, or maybe parallelly build up top of the funnel content. So that is my recommendation. And, you don't have to say that, we are doing a case study. Would you like to come in? So invitation I see another problem in getting a case study from a client is people are hesitant as soon as you tell them you are going to be under a scanner,
Yeah.
and we want results, we want to see your analytics, these are questions that we are going to bring in the interview. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that way. You can say that you are a featured customer. We want to tell your success story. As
Hmm.
soon as you say that to a client, they are proud to be featured.
Hmm.
So and you prepare a whole framework so that your content, your case study production is a scalable way of doing it over and over again. You create a
Hmm.
questionnaire template that you can send out to 10 clients at the same time. They can
Hmm.
fill it in. And as soon as you start getting these questionnaires, you can maybe start producing the content right away, or you can engage them in a second level of interview where you get a video shot and some quotes and some data that you
Hmm.
can have a case study with video, with data, with all of that. So,
Hmm.
you should also parallelly start creating a framework to create a scalable way of creating case studies. So,
Hmm.
highly recommend
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, I've seen some really bad case studies and some examples of really good one. And from what you've said, now I understand the difference of the approach and what. Yeah, I guess the difference of approach that how do you gather enough information for your case study such that it makes a compelling case for someone else to do business with you. And I think what you've outlined was very helpful. Just one last question. I've seen that some people sometimes gate their case studies. It's not something that they would, want to give away very quickly. What is your recommendation? Is it something that people should sign up for, or it should be freely available for others to make decisions?
See, it depends from business to business. If you want to understand, if you want to put that particular customer that has come into your CRM, then you want to gate it. But I don't see a value in gating it because initially the customer is just lurking. He
Yeah,
wants to see results rather than being an entry in your CRM,
yeah.
right? So I highly recommend making it free, easily available. While,
Mm,
I understand, you have skepticism from a competitor looking at your case studies, or, your sales team also want to get some warm leads as a means of gating the content. But
mm,
I see is that you have to provide value to your customers. They want to do research on their own before coming to you. How
yeah.
do you enable that? You
Mm,
enable it building trust by giving away as much as possible without asking anything in return is where I see a beginning of a good relationship, of a long lasting relationship. You give something first before you
yeah.
ask for their data, for their name and all
Yes.
of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I recommend not gating it. I also have started, withholding from gating ebooks as well. Give it, you've already worked on it, right? So give it away for free. If the customer sees value in it, he's going to come back. He's going to ask for more. And that's when you will know, from if somebody is coming to your website again and again, then you know that the person is interested and your sales team can take it up. But just asking for something in return in the first place is not something my way to go.
Yeah, I think that also probably is a mindset shift that some of us have to go through. Anyway, we are coming to the end of the interview. I think this conversation for me personally has been very interesting. We could talk about a lot of things that we do, which are common to our business. But you've also shared so much that I'm sure the audience will take away. And as I said, it will help them become more acceptable to exploring the content marketing route. So thank you so much, Namrata, for coming on the show, sharing your expertise, and for giving up time.
Thank you. This is a fun session. Always here to help, and look forward to more of your interviews.
Thank you.
Thank you. Best wishes. Bye.
Bye.